G'day viewers, got a bit of news for Train Sim World 4. Bernina Linnie, Tirano, Ospizio, Bernina coming soon. Time to cross yet another border. Alpine mountains, snow-covered track and steep gradients are coming soon with Bernina Linnie, Tirano, Ospizio, Bernina releasing on January 16th, courtesy of Rivet Games. And you can order it now on Steam, but not on console. This is a photo showing the Allegra train with a photogrammatic background. It's time to adventure up into the Alps, courtesy of the world-renowned RHB services that weave and wind their way through Switzerland and over the border into Italy. Another new country sneaks its way into Train Sim World, with the Italian town of Tirano forming an endpoint of this latest route add-on. See what it looks like a summer or spring view. You can certainly see the steepness in the route and the mountain countryside. First opened in 1908, this historic single-track metre-gauge 3-foot 3 3/8" railway winds its way up into the mountains along gradients as steep as 7%, some of the steepest gradients for an adhesion railway in the world. An adhesion railway is one with normal wheels without any other kind of device for pushing the train up. Built primarily to serve tourists and locals, as well as facilitate access to hydroelectric plants, this spectacular line continues to wow passengers from around the globe. We're now looking at the route map, starting at the top with Ospizio Bernina at 2,253 metres, coming down to Alp Grum, where it drops 200 metres or so, to Cavaglia, to Cadera, Posiciavo, it's dropped about 1,000 metres to get down to there, Likert, Lipres, Mirilago, Bruzio, Campascio, and Compolgologno, and Tirano down at 429 metres. So that's, 1,700 metre drop over the route, something like that. In-game, the route extends out from Tirano, which sits at 429 metres above sea level, and heads up to the highest point of the line at Ospizio Bernina, in Switzerland at a height of 2,253 metres. Along the way, the route twists and winds up the gradients, first looping back on itself by the Bruzio Spiral Viaduct just south of Bruzio, before passing by the Lago di Posiciavo and traversing a number of tight turns prior to the summit. Beyond the impressive natural landscape, trains head through towns with some street running and custom road traffic features in-game that stops for each passing train. You can see the Allegra doing some street running here. This is down at the bottom end of the route. Dramatic mountains, wintry landscapes and alpine scenery define the views for both passengers and drivers throughout, recreated through use of 1 metre LiDAR and other landscaping tools. Custom winter features include ice at Lago Bianco and glacier assets at Alp Grum. The ABE 8/12 Allegra electric multiple unit. It's a shiny thing. Making the steady climb up the Ospizio Bernina is the ABE 8/12 Allegra EMU, operated by the Rhaetian Railways, or RHB. First introduced in 2009, this dual voltage electric multiple unit is able to run off the 1000-volt DC power of the Bernina line, in addition to the 11 kV, 16.7 Hz power seen throughout the rest of the Rhaetian Railways core network. The Allegra even holds the speed record for metre gauge railways, clocking 139 km an hour to 86 miles an hour during a test run on another railway in 2009. This one's not that quick, just saying. That's probably a fairly indicative speed on the speedo there of 30 km an hour. There's a view out through the cab from the locomotive. Though the RHB might be familiar to players of previous Swiss route add-ons, this modern and stylish EMU provides the contemporary traction to get to grips with. The 3-car unit has the ability to attach to and haul additional cars up the mountain, and this function extends to freight, giving players an unusual operational opportunity. The Allegra's performance ensures that it can handle the tight curves and steep climbs with ease, but drivers will have the way of stopping and hill starting when perched high on the mountain top. Also included in this route add-on selection is a selection of additional rolling stock to allow for the running of mixed concepts behind the Allegra, the RHB ZA tank wagon, the RHB SPW timber wagon, E1A and B coaches. So there's some of the things that we've seen on the other Swiss route, which name escapes me for the moment, Linnie, sorry. And the tank wagon's new. The tank wagon's new to this one. Services on this stretch of the Bernina line consist primarily of the Tirano to St. Moritz services that stop at Ospizio Bernina before running out of the map. There are 49 services in total, with 6 halfway services from either Tirano or Ospizio, Bernina to Posicciavo, where shunting moves can be operated in the morning. 3 BEX, Bernina Express services, form part of the timetable, consisting of a run up and down with a shunting manoeuvre at Tirano. These trains feature open-air coach from the RHB Anniversary Collection add-on for players that own it. The Allegra will feature fully implemented passenger announcements, building on a similar feature found in Rivet Games' ScotRail Express add-on. Unlike the Class 385, however, these will automatically play out at relevant points and will feature 3 different languages spoken in the region: English, German and Italian. It's an interior view of the EMU with the seating and the table. 5 scenarios are included, which are centered around picking up additional stock and freight wagons. Scenic views take the player along a winter ride from Ospizio Bernina to Tirano, stopping along the way at scenic locations. Early morning shift starts with the player boarding an AI train to travel to Posicciavo, where they'll then take a new train to Tirano. Hot Wheels takes the player from Tirano all the way up to Ospizio Bernina, with it coupling up another wagon at Compagnolago and then decoupling one due to a hot axle in Cavaglia. Close Call Delivery takes the player from Posicciavo up towards Ospizio Bernina, delivering tango wagons along the way. A train filled with Christmas spirit, Santa is a bit delayed getting to the mountains in this Christmas-themed scenario. This service operates from Ospizio Bernina down to Tirano through a snowstorm, delivering presents to each station, which the player unloads manually. Very similar to the one that was on Bernina Linnie. The difference in voltage between routes prevents locomotives such as the RHB GE44-2 from Bernina Linnie running on Bernina Linnie, so there's no service layers from that route add-on. But the dual voltage Allegra can be operated in free roam on Bernina Linnie. This offers a distinctly different feel to operating the Allegra due to the difference between the AC and DC power systems, which are fully simulated. Along the Bernina line, there'll be some unique collectibles to find, including Italian pizza and distinct Alpine hats. The pricing looks to be €35.99, £29.99, $39.99 US, so about the same as usual. So 54 to 55 odd dollars in Australia will be my bet. And coming out January the 16th, and you can pre-order. Now, before people get into the negative things about Rivet, I have beta tested this route. Not going to give you any details, but it works and it looks pretty bloody magnificent, to be honest, from a game perspective. So, yeah, all good. As usual, I read this to improve the accessibility and the information for those who can't or won't go and read it at its source. Alrighty, any comments or feedback or questions, chuck them in the chat down below. If they're things I can talk about, I will. Have fun, folks. See you later. There it is.